Hello everyone, once again welcome back to my channel. Today it is the last of the series of competency based questions in chemistry. We will be doing on the chapter metals and non-metals. We have already covered the remaining three chapters, that is chemical reactions and equations. We have also completed carbon and its compound, and also we have done acid, bases and salt. Okay, today we are going to do metals and non-metals part, and I hope you have seen my earlier videos on those three chapters. If not, I have already shared the link in the description box below. From there also you can find out the videos and you can check those later on. Okay, so let's move to the today's part, that is the first question. In which of the following forms do electrovalent compounds conduct electricity? Option A, all in solid form. Option B, both in solid form and in aqueous solution. Option C, both in aqueous and in molten form. Option D, in solid form, molten form and in aqueous solution, that is in three forms. So first you should know what is electrovalent compounds. So electrovalent compounds are nothing but ionic compounds. Ionic compounds क्या है? When there is a transfer of electrons between the cations and the anions, or transfer of electrons between the ions. Okay, so one will cation will be there. Okay, for example sodium chloride, it's an example of electrovalent compound or an ionic compound. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Sodium is donating the electrons to chlorine and chlorine is gaining the electrons from sodium. So the bond formed between them is the ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Is this bond has to be broken down if you have to conduct electricity through this compound. तो ये बॉन्ड कब फॉर्म होता है ना? इन सॉलिड फॉर्म इट इज़ ऑलवेज द बॉन्ड इज ऑलवेज स्ट्रॉन्ग. ओके, द बॉन्ड बिटवीन sodium and chlorine in this example, so ionic bond is the strongest in solid form. So if you have the ionic bond there, that means the ions are not free. अगर ions free नहीं रहेगा then you cannot conduct electricity, so you have to break this bond, and this is possible only in molten and aqueous form. Okay, in aqueous solution of sodium chloride or in molten form of sodium chloride, that time what will happen, the bond will break, and as a result the sodium ions and the chloride ions will be free. So in ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds, so in molten form and in aqueous solutions, the free ions will be available. Only that time the electricity can be conducted. So in this case option C is the correct one, where it will be electricity can be conducted in aqueous solution and in molten form. Right, moving to the next one. So this is a diagram based question. So you have a reactor here, it's already given. So the reactor is made up of iron body and inside of the reactor is lined with glass. Okay, now given here is many chemical reactions like the one shown below are carried out in a glass lined iron chemical reactor instead of directly in iron reactors. So this is esterification, as you can see. So here carboxylic acid, so ethanoic acid is there, that is acetic acid, and ethanol is there. In presence of acid we get an ester, right? So here this type of reactions occur in this type of reactor where the inside lining is made up of glass and not directly the iron part. Okay, now what is the advantage behind it? So that is the question being asked here. So if I take a iron reactor directly without any glass lining, what will happen, and if I take a glass lining there, what will happen? So the advantage of having glass is not it will prevent corrosion. Okay, since iron is there, so iron body, so obviously corrosion might occur, so glass will prevent that corrosion. Second thing, glass is not reactive. Okay, so whatever metal or metal salt is being formed as a product during the chemical reactions, that will not interact or interfere with the glass or with the iron body of the reactor. Okay, so that is the major advantage of using glass lining rather than using only a iron reactor. Okay, so no corrosion of the reactor will take place and no contamination of the product with metal or metal salt. So these two advantage you need to mention in your answer, right? Then comes the next one, assertion reasoning. So first assertion is given as an alloy may be a compound consisting of a metal and a non-metal. So first check whether it is correct or not. The next is reason, an alloy is made by melting a metal and then dissolving other elements in definite proportions. So for this you should know what is an alloy. So what is alloy? So alloy is a compound that is a mixture of compounds. Okay, it can be metal, different metals, or between metals and non-metals. So it is not specific that a metal and a non-metal has to be there. So assertion is wrong. It is a mixture of metal. It can be mixture of more than one metal. Okay, more than two metals also, three metals also. So this assertion is wrong. Reason, yes, it is correct. So the whatever metals are being used or mixture is being used, it is in definite proportion. Each metal or non-metal that is being used in a definite proportion. For a specific alloy, it is specific. Okay, so reason is correct, assertion is wrong. So the option D will, so A is false, R is true. That will be your answer. Let's move on to the next one. Freshly cut pieces of iron are stored in three closed containers P, Q and R. So तीन कंटेनर है P, Q and R. ओके, तीनों में एक एक आयरन पीस डाल दिया है. अब इन कंटेनर्स में क्या क्या है? कंटेनर P हैज़ ड्राई एयर, कंटेनर Q हैज़ ऑक्सीजन, and container R has nitrogen. Okay, so each of them is having one gas there. In which of the container is the iron likely to rust? Whether it is only P, whether it is only P and Q, or whether it is all P, Q and R, and option D, in none of them. So if for this you should know the concept of rusting. Rust occurs, like iron rusting is occurs because of corrosion, right? Now in order to be have rust, or iron will undergo rusting when it is exposed to air, plus moisture should be there. Now if you see the options given here, एक में भी मॉइस्चर का मेंशन नहीं किया हुआ है. इट इज़ गिवन ड्राई एयर. अगर एयर रहता तभी भी सोच सकते हैं, बट इफ़ इट इज़ ड्राई मतलब मॉइस्चर ही नहीं है. And these two the only gases are there, but there is no moisture mentioned here, nor water is mentioned here. So that means in none of these containers there will be rusting. So option D will be the correct option. Okay. Next, another assertion reasoning here. Potassium metal burns and produces a flame when thrown in water. Reason, the reaction of potassium with water is highly exothermic and violent. So you have to say whether, so out of these four options, which one is the correct one. Now for this you should know the properties of potassium. So you know that potassium and sodium, they almost have the similar properties with water. Both reacts violently with water. Okay, and lot of heat is released or energy is released. That is why, that means it is an exothermic reaction. Okay, so potassium and sodium both reacts violently with water, and it is and since high amount of heat is released, that means it is an exothermic reaction. So we can say reason is correct. Now what about assertion? Potassium metal burns and produces a flame when thrown in water. This is also correct. Both potassium and sodium, they, well, as soon as you add water, it reacts with water. Okay, it catches fire. What happens in case of potassium is it reacts with water, and when potassium hydroxide is formed and hydrogen gas is released. Okay, so what is happening? The potassium, as soon as it is added to water, the heat that is being produced is sufficient enough to catch fire when hydrogen gas is being formed. Okay, this hydrogen gas catches fire because of the heat released by the reaction between potassium and water. And potassium, it starts melting in water and forms potassium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is released, and this hydrogen gas catches the fire. Okay, and it creates a lilac flame. The color of the flame is lilac color. Okay, so in case of sodium also catches fire, and potassium also it catches fire, and in some cases there is explosions, short amount of explosion also occurs at the end. So we have to be very careful while handling sodium and potassium. So here both are correct, and R is the correct explanation. So option A should be the correct answer, right? Next, coming to the reactivity series question. So here they have already given one series. So here they have said the metal to the right is more reactive than the metal to its left. So on the right hand side, the whatever metals are there, they are more reactive than the ones on the left. Now the table also given along with the salt solutions. What color will happen if copper sulfate? It is blue, tin sulfate yellow, nickel sulfate green, cobalt sulfate pink, iron sulfate green, zinc sulfate colorless. Now they have asked, adding nickel and iron metal to which of the following solutions will show that iron is more reactive than nickel. So out of this they have chosen iron and nickel, and you have to say whether iron is more reactive or nickel is more reactive to among these four solutions. Okay, so these are the four solutions that is given. So you have to say out of this which is where the iron, where it shows that iron is more reactive than nickel. अब इसको कैसे पता चलेगा? गो बैक टू द रिएक्टिविटी सीरीज, यहाँ पे दिया ही हुआ है. तो यहाँ पे अगर कॉपर सल्फेट का ऑप्शन लेंगे, सो कॉपर, वेयर इज कॉपर? यहाँ पे है ना. निकल कहाँ पे है? यहाँ पे. एंड आयरन यहाँ पे, दोनों के बीच में बोलना है ना. कॉपर इज द लीस्ट रिएक्टिव, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में एकदम एंड में है, सो इट इज द लीस्ट रिएक्टिव देन निकल, बोथ निकल एंड आयरन. तो निकल भी डिस्प्लेस करेगा कॉपर को, आयरन भी डिस्प्लेस करेगा कॉपर को. लेकिन कौन सा मोर रिएक्टिव है इससे पता नहीं चलेगा. वाई? बिकॉज बोथ आर डिस्प्लेसिंग कॉपर. निकल डिस्प्लेस करके कॉपर को डिस्प्लेस करके निकल सल्फेट सोल्यूशन फॉर्म करेगा विच इज़ ग्रीन इन कलर. आयरन भी डिस्प्लेस करेगा कॉपर को, आयरन सल्फेट फॉर्म करेगा विच इज़ ऑल्सो ग्रीन इन कलर. ओके, सो कॉपर सल्फेट से पता नहीं चलेगा विच इज़ मोर रिएक्टिव बिकॉज दोनों ही रिएक्ट कर रहा है. कमिंग टू टीन सल्फेट. ना टीन सल्फेट में क्या हो रहा है? वेर इज टीन? सेम थिंग. तीन निकल से भी लीस्ट रिएक्टिव है, आयरन से भी सेम है, सो ये भी दोनों ही रिएक्ट करेगा. सो इससे भी पता नहीं चलेगा विच इज़ मोर रिएक्टिव. नेक्स्ट कमिंग टू कोबाल्ट एंड जिंक. अभी जिंक का देखो, जिंक कहाँ पे है? कोबाल्ट यहाँ पे है, जिंक यहाँ पे. अभी जिंक है सबसे ज़्यादा रिएक्टिव, राइट? इट इज़ हाईली रिएक्टिव, द मोस्ट रिएक्टिव वन अमॉन्ग द रिमेनिंग मेटल्स. नाउ दैट मीन्स नीदर आयरन नॉर निकल कैन डिस्प्लेस जिंक. आई मीन जिंक can displace both, but nickel and iron cannot displace zinc sulfate. So that means zinc cannot be an option. Now what is remaining? Cobalt sulfate. Now why cobalt sulfate is the correct option? Because now cobalt, you see, cobalt is between nickel and iron, so nickel cannot displace cobalt because cobalt is more reactive than nickel. लेकिन iron कर सकता है. Why iron can displace? Because iron is more reactive than cobalt, so it can form iron sulfate, okay, which is green in color, and it can displace cobalt. बट निकल कोबाल्ट के साथ रिएक्ट करेगा ही नहीं क्योंकि कोबाल्ट, बिकॉज कोबाल्ट विल, कोबाल्ट सल्फेट को डिस्प्लेस नहीं कर सकता है. वाई? बिकॉज निकल इज लेस रिएक्टिव देन कोबाल्ट. ओके, सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन विल बी कोबाल्ट सल्फेट. दैट इज हाउ यू नीड टू फाइंड द आंसर. See which one is more reactive, which one is less reactive. Another question, same part on here it is given, only the question is different. Here they have asked, show that iron is more reactive than nickel. Smita adds nickel metal and iron metal to copper sulfate solution in a separate test tube. So she has taken two test tubes with copper sulfate, both has copper sulfate solution. One she has added nickel and in the other she has added iron. So will her test show which is more reactive? Justify answer. So she has taken copper sulfate in both the cases. So copper sulfate, you see where is copper? Copper is here. So copper is more least reactive. So that means nickel, both nickel and iron can displace copper. So will she be able to find it out which is more reactive, iron or nickel? No, we cannot. Why? Because both can displace copper and both will turn green color, right? So that is why we cannot predict there is not much information given for this answer question. So here both will displace, so we cannot say which is more reactive than the other. So that's the answer. So same question, same pattern, but two different way they have asked. So these two questions, same topic is related to reactivity series. Coming to the next one, another one, a metal oxide XO. Okay, so there is a metal oxide called, they have named it as XO. On being heated with carbon does not produce carbon dioxide. Give a possible explanation for this behavior of metal oxide. So metal oxide is given, it is reacting with carbon but it is not producing carbon dioxide. Now why is it so? Something must be happening, that is why no carbon dioxide gas, because a metal oxide whenever it reacts with carbon it should produce carbon dioxide, but it is not happening here. Now what is the reason behind it? Why? Because that means carbon is not able to displace the metal that is present here in this metal oxide, so it is not able to displace X. That means can we say that X is a metal which is more reactive than carbon? इसके वजह से कार्बन डिस्प्लेस नहीं कर पा रहा है कि नहीं? So if it is had it been a least reactive one, carbon could have displaced the metal and carbon dioxide could have been formed. So that is why no reaction is taking place. So the metal that is present here is more reactive than carbon. Okay, so that's the answer. Next one, to compare the reactivity of magnesium and aluminium, two friends carried out the following test. one friend, what he has done, Shardul reacted the metals with HCl. Ashwin on the other hand reacted the metals with boiling water. दोनों ने सेम मेटल लिया, एल्यूमिनियम मैग्नीशियम, लेकिन उसके रिएजेंट क्या यूज़ किया? शार्डुल ने यूज़ किया हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड एंड अश्विन हैज़ यूज बॉइलिंग वाटर. Whose test will differentiate between the two metals based on their reactivity? अब इनमें से मैग्नीशियम एंड एल्यूमिनियम किसके टेस्ट से पता चलेगा विच इज़ मोर रिएक्टिव? So one of them is correct, one of them is wrong here. Okay, so here you should know the properties of magnesium and aluminium. So here what is happening, if I take and with hydrochloric acid, what is happening? If magnesium is reacting with hydrochloric acid, it is forming magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas is released. Even aluminium is reacting with hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, and forming aluminium chloride and hydrogen gas. मतलब दोनों ही सॉल्ट फॉर्म कर रहा है, हाइड्रोजन गैस इज रिलीज, दोनों में ही रिएक्शन हो रहा है. सो दैट मीन्स वी कैन नॉट से विच इज़ मोर रिएक्टिव. बट इन केस ऑफ बॉइलिंग वाटर, जो अश्विन ने किया, अश्विन ने क्या किया, मेटल्स को बॉइलिंग वाटर में डाला, तो ओनली मैग्नीशियम, out of magnesium and aluminium, only one will react with hot water, other will not react with hot water. जो मैग्नीशियम है, only magnesium will react with boiled water and it will form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas will be released. लेकिन aluminium के साथ कोई reaction नहीं होगा, no reaction will happen when aluminium is added with boiling water. So that's how we can say that magnesium is more reactive than aluminium. So that means Ashwin test will tell us that which one is more reactive between the two metals, not Shardul's one, because Shardul's one both reactions are occurring, whereas in case of Ashwin test we can find out clearly that magnesium is more reactive than aluminium because it is reacting with boiling water, whereas aluminium does not react with boiling water. So that's how your answer should be. Along with the reactions, you need to justify your answer. Don't just simply write one line answer, you justify, show what is happening there. That way you need to present your answer in your answer sheet, right? So these are the questions that is being released from by the CBSE. So here only that much is being given from this chapter. So I hope it is clear now how to answer those questions. If any doubt is there, let me know in the comment section below, and if you like my videos, please do share, like and subscribe my channel. Click on the bell notification so that you can get more of this such videos and related videos, and if any new videos are coming up, you will come to know. Okay, so keep learning, enjoy learning, and have a good day. And remaining whatever videos of this series is there, I have already shared the link, so check it out there. Okay, so have a good day everyone.